What is up, my pizzas? Cory Vincent here, and you are listening to the newest, the latest, and the greatest episode of Video Game Bang that has ever existed. And that's because Curtis is here. What's going on, Curtis?
Yo, what's happening? I'm back in the building.
You were gone, and now you've returned. How you doing, my friend?
Bro, I'm feeling really good right now. The pre-show, people don't know about the pre-show, but this pre-show is it's hot like fire. And we lightweight kind of had like a little like moment, you know, we were behind it and getting some things out and some healing. So I'm feeling pretty refreshed right now.
I think I should let you guys know, I do record all of the pre-shows.
Okay. I didn't sign up for that one.
This is new information.
I released them all on.
I do not consent to that recording.
On another podcast that I've never told anybody about.
What?
That's a
I
Patreon
am not
exclusive.
consenting of that recording.
It's actually how I pay my bills. Yeah, it's only on Patreon. Patreon.com/videogamebang. Speaking of Patreon, she has a Patreon, and you've been plugging it really hard lately because I think there's only 2 or 3 days left to join your little fan club.
Yes!
You can be a Doom bot. Ivy Doomkitty, what's up?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Can you stop like cluttering my timeline with promos for your Patreon? All right, I'm already a patron. All right.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Wow, how ungrateful of you not to recognize my patronage.
I know you're not.
I've been
seen
a Patreon
that you're not.
forever. Ivy Doomkitty, are you kidding me right now?
I
Go
think
check.
you push the follow button.
Check the logs. No, I'm a tier. I don't know, like a $2 subscriber.
Oh, okay, that
Whatever
counts.
the minimum is.
That's fine.
She doesn't.
I appreciate it.
She doesn't have a Patreon, but she probably should start one soon.
Oh God, no.
Emmaskies, what's up?
No, I don't have the content for a Patreon.
Here we go, Emma. This show has been turning into just me trying to build you up into the person that I see you as and that you really are. Like, my wife comes home after listening to the last episode and she's like, will you just stop trying to make Emma do stuff?
Listen to your wife.
Because a big whole part of the last episode was us trying to get you to be a movie reviewer.
Listen to your wife, man. She's a smart lady.
I mean, she is, and she's great and all, but I think your view of yourself is not as great as the world's view of the Emmaskies.
That's neither here nor there.
Speaking of neither here nor there, this show is brought to you by Oblivion Comics and Coffee, the #1 spot in Sacramento for comics and or coffee. Why not both? That's what I always say when I go there. Why not both? And also, we're brought to you by Gamer Subs. GG, got to get your Gamer Subs. I had my Gamer Subs today. That's why I'm firing on all cylinders, baby. That's
Good
why.
stuff.
Yeah, this is the stuff right here. And you can use the code word VGB to get a big fatty 10% discount off of any of your purchases. If you want to get the shaker cup, they have a cool sampler. Like if you're thinking, Cory, I just don't trust you. And you know what? I believe that. Don't trust me. Try it for yourself.
Oh, no.
$5, I think, for a sampler pack.
Ooh, that's not
and
bad.
you get to try all the different flavors. It may even come with a cup. I don't even know. But you can use that code VGB on that, and you get a discount. And it'll
My
help.
favorite's orange. It's good stuff.
OP Orange is yours?
OP orange is my favorite.
I want to try the new Strawberry Blast one, but I like the Dragon one. It's actually made from real dragons. Not too many people know that.
Really?
Yeah, real dragons.
I need that.
Then thank you also to our friends over at Vast.gg, the #1 people in the esports gaming biz in building your brand. If you want to, if you do your own podcast or have your own side hustle, if you're a Twitch streamer and you're wondering, you need some advice marketing yourselves, Vast.gg, they are amazing. But we have a huge show, so we can't bog it down with ads. A lot's been going on in the video gaming world. Some great, and then some terrible, some despicable. If you listen to the last show, it was on a Saturday. The very next day, there was, of course, you've heard of it by now, a mass shooting in Jacksonville, Florida, at an esports event of all places. It was a Madden tournament. The story goes that there was a dude, lost, whatever, ended up opening fire in the place. 2 people died, a dozen were injured, and it's just got, I don't know. How do you even start this segment, honestly? Like,
It was awful. It should have never happened, and a lot of people were injured, lives were lost, and it hits close to home because, we're a gaming community and we're so close to one another. We're all at some point or another have experienced what it's like to be a social outcast. So we come to these, esports arenas or just play video games to escape that world, to escape the reality of how crappy things can be in the world. And for that stuff to actually make its way into what would be a safe haven for us is something that really hit close to home for all of us, here at VGB, in the community. And it's something that we never want to see happen again, and it's opening up conversations on tightening up security. What can we do to prevent something like this from happening to somebody else?
I think what you said is pretty accurate, especially when it comes to I've gone to gaming events. It's what I've pretty much exclusively done the last year and a half, and I've gone to small ones, large ones, and never once did I ever feel like not safe.
Yeah.
And then it just sucks that now we're faced with a reality where you have to second guess yourself.
Yep. You have to picture, alternative scenarios. What if this happens at a place that I'm at because I have to be there? What will I do? How should I act? What are my choices? What are my escape routes? You have to start thinking about all of those different things that you normally wouldn't even be considering because it's a place to have fun. It's a place to feel safe, and it no longer feels like that. The innocence of it is lost.
The victims were Madden players, Elijah Clayton and Taylor Robinson. They've been getting tons of love on social media. Great people. Emma, you researched a little bit more. You found out their stories. They came
Well, I want to make a slight correction. It was Elijah Clayton and Taylor Robertson. I just kind of want to get names right for this, and we've made a very conscious decision here to not name the shooter because there is no need to. It's he doesn't need to be remembered for what he did, but we can remember Elijah and Taylor.
Yep.
They were your everyday people. They used their winnings respectively to support their families and to pay for college, and it's just there's not really a ton to say on this without getting, heavier than it needs to be. At least we can remember who they were. We can remember what they did for their community and what they brought to it, and we can move past thinking about the person that did this.
Yeah,
and just try to advocate for tighter security. What measures can be taken to protect, conventions, gamers, esports events, things like that.
Warning, again, this did happen over the weekend, so time has passed. More information has gone around, but the whole thing was caught on twitch.tv. And, it's one of those things to where you just be careful what links you click on when doing your investigation and learning and stuff. And you, I know quite a few people, it got sprung on them. My mom saw it on accident, and she messaged me all freaked out, you're not there, are you? No, Mom, I'm not there. There's always that panic hysteria when you hear of something like that.
Yeah,
and
the news stations out here made a horrible mistake of playing the audio clip on air. Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of national
right after you guys had
stations.
said that there's a link floating around and everything, I was watching the news and they were talking about it, and they played that clip on air. And I wish I didn't hear what I heard.
I actually made a conscious decision to listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Typically, I don't just go search for macabre type things. I don't get off on that kind of stuff at all. But it just felt like there's that line of staying ignorant and then exposing yourselves to the darkness that's out there, Yeah. It was saddening, very saddening, but I don't know. It kind of just, it felt like I needed to feel that pain or to really grasp and to be charged up about what to say and how to conduct myself and the things I believe in for the future. The biggest issue I think that comes out of this, you could fight over gun control laws and things like that, but the important thing is that the security at these events,
absolutely,
big and small, because this wasn't a giant major, this wasn't an Evo in a jam-packed arena.
Yeah,
it was a
tiny
qualifier
place.
like at a restaurant. Like, this is like an intimate place where I've been to these where you basically know everybody there. It's very rare, there's people there that you don't know or get that. And this guy was known in the community, so it's not like it was just a random thing.
Yeah.
And it sucks that it happened in our community.
So on the note, as far as security, EA has actually canceled the remaining qualifiers for this tournament. They had 3 qualifying events that were going to come after this. They've canceled all 3 of them while they review security protocols and basically what they can do to make sure this never happens again, because it shouldn't have happened.
It's a smart move.
And there were a lot of streamers, a lot of pro gamers, a lot of basically people that go to conventions that were talking, speaking out on social media about we go to these events all the time and they have no security. I think Summit 1G tweeted that he goes to these all the time and 90% of the events he goes to have little to no security.
Yeah.
None at all.
And that's anytime something like this happens, like one of the hardest things for me to reconcile is that like a pattern, within humanity period is, hey, yeah, we think about this and something similar happens in another community, but we wait till it happens in our community in order to realize like, hey, every life that within our community is precious and worth protecting, and worth putting in the time and in the effort, to, I mean, you can't guarantee life, but we can put people in places to say, hey, you're not going to bring any foolishness around. It's not going to be a matter of you just going in and doing whatever you want. Like, we are here to have each other's backs, to protect each other, and make sure that everybody gets to come here. Forget about, like to Ivy's point, it's supposed to be that we come and we enjoy these games. We forget about whatever troubles and problems we have in the normal world. We come together on this one thing. We agree on this thing. We may not agree on a lot of things. We may have a lot of differences, but this game we agree on, this tournament, whatever. And it's totally worth it to put in the time, the effort, even like literally it doesn't have to be a bunch of, big old bouncer people, watching it, but just, a group of people at the door, just like, even if we're rotating, but just having each other's, backs like that.
Yeah.
Because we should, like to Ivy's point, we shouldn't be going into this thing where we're supposed to be forgetting about the outside world, and we can't even concentrate on our gaming performance. We can't even, in a stress-free manner, talk to our friends that we only get to see at cons and these tournaments, because I got one eye on the door and I got another eye on the window, and now I'm standing with my back to you know what I mean? And then we start thinking all tactically. This is we're not going into a war zone. we're going to our communal place to enjoy each other. So I really would like to see that pattern, as a human population, stop. But where it is right now, we got to have security. We got to let people know, like, hey, not only are we here to enjoy ourselves, but the protection that is needed is in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sad sign of the times in a way. Like, it seems like these incidents are happening in many different communities, and it's been happening across, from Vegas to, the last school shootings. And I distinctly remember like when Columbine happened. I was a kid basically, but that dominated everything. Every news source, every TV, everything was about Columbine for a solid couple months. Yeah. It's all we talked about. And now it's kind of like even this Jacksonville incident, like I have to go actively search out information and what's happening, because it feels like,
because it becomes just another one.
Yes,
it's just
it
another
feels like
one.
It's just another one.
It becomes a norm.
We become apathetic about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
And that's what's gonna kill these things, is the apathy, and people don't worry about it as much as they should until it happens to them, or until it's connected to them, or it happens in their community. And so, I mean, there's something to be said for keeping it alive and talking about it. And I don't know. It's a hard subject, I think, for any of us to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think, as difficult as it is, I think that's one thing that we can all, agree on. Like, whatever measures need to be put in place, to make sure that people get back home, or even get there safely, you know, we you know, it's worth our time now to start investing in that, you know, going to places together in groups and, you know,
have those conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's where it sucks that we have to, but I would rather the reality be that we took the preventative measures and we avoid a scenario like that by being preventative than, great, here comes another story. And yeah, we are, you know, becoming apathetic. It's just another event. The only difference between that place and Sacramento is the miles that it takes to drive.
Yeah.
We're all people. You know what I mean? There's an Emmaskies there. There's a Curtis there. There's a Cory there. There's an Ivy there. So we got to protect the other Ivies and Emmas and Corys and Curtises.
Yeah, I think if you're wondering like what next, well, first of all, nobody knows, but there's things to do and not to do, and the things not to do is go on the full out offensive, like I've seen other people doing on social media.
Right. Yeah, don't go to an extreme.
There's a difference between being a keyboard warrior and then actually trying to enforce, you know, a positive change.
Yeah.
Don't talk about the person that did it.
Yeah.
Because that glorifies them.
Yeah. They get no glory.
Not
None.
glorifying they get the person at all. Yeah. That is just a nameless person, you know, who
just by talking about them is glorifying them. By saying their name, it's glorifying them. Even though you may not have the intent to, that's what it is. So this is why we choose to not say that person's name.
The thing I think that's made me the most mad, there's a few things, and we'll talk about one of them in a second, but one of them was this dumb Southern California ABC News network that was just trying to get some clicks. And the Santa Ana Esports Arena has been there for years, and they published an article, and the headline on Twitter was esports event just like the one in Jacksonville happening in Santa Ana Esports Arena, with a picture of it.
Wow.
No.
It had nothing to do with it. Wasn't even a Madden tournament, and they run tournaments out of there just about every day of the week. But now that it's in the headlines, you know, some junior, you know, person over there must have Googled eSearch. It was like, oh my God, there's one in our area, just like that.
Clickbait.
It's a target.
Let's use it.
It made. I feel like that fucking article probably put more people at risk than anything.
Yeah.
Because you're saying to those other psycho idiots out there that, hey, there's one of those in our area too, just like that one.
Yeah, you want to paint a target on us, like.
I felt like that was just and they did go change the title of the article after enough, you know, people from esports and in the community started calling it out.
Good.
But it was still the same shit article. They just changed the clickbait title of it to something else, like local gamers react to the thing or whatever.
Yeah. You know what? If you're gonna, if that's the position that you're gonna take on such a serious matter like this to get clicks and views, same thing. We ignore them. Like, we gotta ignore these people too. All these people trying to get attention the wrong way, doing the wrong thing. I mean, because that's what they're like. You know, whether it be a cry for help or, you know, or whatever, but it's some sort of attention that you want. That's why you're doing this heinous act or this ignorant act, like titling something like that. You get cut off.
Yeah.
We're not going to give you what you want. Yep. You don't get it.
There was so the NRA, there's a NRA TV, and there was a host, Grant Stinchfield, and he watched the video and had some really insensitive, just uneducated things to say. So basically, like, we watched there's the video out there of the Twitch stream, and the Twitch stream is on the players, and then it cuts to a different thing, and then you can only hear what happens. Mm-hmm. Thank God. That would be even much worse, I feel like, if you were able to see what happened. But the audio is plenty. But what had happened was the video that he was reviewing was of a person at their house basically watching the Twitch stream.
Right. He was referencing a video that somebody had posted where they were recording their own computer screen with their phone.
Yeah.
Like, basically, they were seeing this thing happen live. They couldn't record it on their computer, so they were recording it on their phone. And that's the video he's watching.
And then his biggest gripe or complaint is about video gamers, how he was basically victim blaming.
Yeah.
By saying that the reason it happened is because they're wearing noise-canceling headphones, and they weren't aware of their surroundings, so they couldn't hear the shots, and they didn't escape right, you know? And he's talking about, you know, he's not moving. Well, duh, that person was at their house. Like, that wasn't a person live at the event. But that just shows you the lengths at which people are willing to go to try and manufacture their side of the story.
Right.
Like he was that desperate for some sort of straw to grasp to blame the gamers at that event. Fuck that guy, man. That's the worst type of person that you can do when you believe in some sort of agenda that much where you can't see the humanity in the situation.
And I think we can all see that coming. We were all kind of bracing for this all over again because it happened big time with Columbine, and it happens every time is they want to blame the video games. Yeah. And
video games are violent. That's why people are like this.
Right. And
you always hear
it's not going to matter that it was a Madden game. It's not going to matter that it wasn't, a CS:GO or a Call of Duty. They're still going to blame gamers.
Or Super Smash Bros, which is a Mario game.
Right. And there's already articles out there on mainstream news sites that are talking about, they're talking to quote-unquote experts who are talking about people who play video games are isolated. They're antisocial. They grow up without learning teamwork and without learning XYZ. And it's just... We know this is coming again, and there's just we're just bracing for it at this point.
And then he's blaming the headphones, like, oh, those headphones, they'll like that's the reason.
First of all, technically, that's not how those things work.
No, it's not.
I've been around enough headphones to know that you'd have to have some active, very powerful noise canceling headphones to block out that level of that volume of noise.
Yeah.
No, that's not a valid thing whatsoever.
Totally. If we fully broke down the science of headphones and the science of actual firearms, we would see that would get dispelled extremely quickly. But again, to the point, this is how far that they will go. They will not only blame the video games, not only blame the victims, but then start blaming inanimate objects.
Yeah, so fucking nuts.
Bruh, tell me you don't go to the gym with some Beats by Dre on your head, Mr. NRA guy. Get out of here.
Some of the other terrible things I saw was a guy on YouTube did a reactions video to himself watching.
Oh, for the love of God.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. It's in the do's and don'ts of how we should conduct ourselves moving forward in a way that inflicts a positive change. That is definitely on the list of things you should not do.
Absolutely.
It made no damn sense. And the dude was properly roasted. I can assure you it made its rounds. I don't know if hopefully he took it down by now. I lost track of that one, but
yeah, I mean and that's the tough too. Then we already have enough crap we deal with the tragedy, a tragedy that affects us directly, and then we deal with imbeciles who have an agenda that we want to push propaganda on the outside of our community, and then it really, really hurts us in so many ways that people would that maybe could be considered within the community doing things like that too. And it's almost like those people, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, hey, look, if you're not gonna, we're already hurting and we already have to heal from this. If you're just gonna push your thumb in the wound and twist it, then you get cut off too.
Yeah.
Because you're not a healthy part of the community. So we stop giving you attention to, we go in there, we give you enough attention to let you know, hey, you don't do stuff like this. And then you get cut off.
So we talked about the things definitely not to do. I think one thing that we need to do is continue to push forward. I don't think you should definitely live in fear. There should be a heightened sense of awareness.
Yep.
If you go to an event and there isn't security, maybe that's something you talk to your local TOs about, volunteer your time to make that kind of difference, and don't let it fester and ruin more stuff in the future. As tough as it is, it does require a degree of bravery. You're going to always have that thought, but if you let it affect you and our community, they win. And that's why I feel like I know Emma is amazing, and we talked about this a lot before the show, and I trust me, I was ready to go. I could have gone a full hour on this shit. And, I feel so strongly, and I hurt, and I'm sad, and I'm mad. But, again, if you let it start fucking with you on that level, then he's winning.
Right.
So that's why this is Video Game Bang. Mm-hmm. It is a fucking comedy show. It is live on Twitch. We have a live audience here. We're not going to bring you down the entire time. I'm going to listen to my wise Emmaskies, and we're going to smile, and we're going to get through this shit, and we're going to talk about the news, because that's what we do, and my soundboard is dead. And that ruined my perfect transition.
So much for the segue.
Damn it!
God, that scared me.
You set it up nice too. Damn,
I had
it was
everything ready to go, and then no, look at that! Whattcha Playin theme song. Whoa! I did not expect this, my friends. Whoa! Whattcha Playin. Oh man, don't you just hate that when you're on a roll, and then the Whattcha Playin gods just determine that it's time to play Whattcha Playin? Emmaskies, what have you been playing?
I've been playing more We Happy Few. I fired that up again today because they finally on consoles rolled out their first big patch. We talked a little bit about how their launch was a little buggier than one might expect from a game that's been in early access for 2 years.
Oh, a little?
Just a tad.
You want to talk about some of the issues you've experienced?
God. So the biggest issues for me were that the frame rate, at least on consoles, I've heard it's not as bad in some respects on PC, but the frame rate was pretty garbage. Like if you were consistently running, it was just a stuttered video.
Yeah.
I had quests that I couldn't complete because they were just completely glitched out and I couldn't do what I needed to do. The most annoying part was I was getting loading screens I would get a period of 5 minutes where I got 4 or 5 loading screens. Like it was just it was bad.
In one zone?
In one zone. Like I'm not even moving region to region. I'm just walking down the street in one region. So this week, or yesterday or today, they finally rolled out their first big patch they've been promising since it launched on the first day, and did not fix anything. Let's say I don't want to say it didn't fix anything. I didn't visibly notice any of the bugs that I've been dealing with go away. Yeah. I was so hyped. I was like, all right, this is a 7 gigabyte update. Like, I'm able to play this game flawlessly now. This is how it's going to be. This is how it's supposed to be when it launched. And I got in there, and within 3 minutes, I had like a loading screen. I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
I know.
So, I assume it did fix some things because it was a very large update, but it did not visibly fix the things I wanted it to fix. And it's very frustrating because I want to play this game. It's very interesting. The plot and the mechanics are very interesting, and I just want it to work.
You know I have to say it, right?
I know what you're gonna fucking say. Whatever.
The issues you're experiencing on console are nowhere as near as bad as it's great on PC.
The frame rate issue I've heard is still bad on PC, and the issue with characters randomly appearing and disappearing and levitating is really bad on PC.
I haven't seen that yet.
What?
I'm not that far in. I'm maybe an hour in.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't seen any of that stuff. I'm having the time of my life on that game. I give it 10 out of 10.
That's the fucking joy talking. That's the joy talking.
I wish everybody could play this game.
Now I need to see him stream it so we can really, you know,
right?
Like we need
fucking
receipts,
that
right?
Shit.
Like we need the receipts.
I like to have some private time when I play my video games.
That's convenient.
Ivy Doomkitty, have you had a chance to play any video games lately?
Lots of Pokemon Go.
Oh, you are all about that. You're trying to get me to add all your family members as
yes.
friends.
Yeah, I am.
I get text messages. Here's my sister's friend code. Can you please send her things?
I am. Oh my god. No, I am every day. I'm on it. Today I did. Okay, so I started Insanity. I started my next round of Insanity last week, but today I started it up again because I couldn't do it yesterday. But anyhow, I did my round of Insanity in the morning, and then immediately got my shoes, went out, walked towards this church that's, I don't know, half a mile down that way, and then I walked a mile towards the park and just kind of hung out in the park, caught Pokemon, took over some gyms, did all that stuff.
You're serious about this?
Yeah, I got like 3 miles in, like just doing that.
Here's a question for you. I saw you were selling a Nintendo Switch. Did you sell it already?
No.
Take it off the market.
2.
Take it off the market. Keep it.
But I have 2.
Oh, keep 1 then. Even better. Sell 1, keep 1. Because did you know they're making that Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu Let's Go Eevee game that ties perfectly with your Pokemon Go?
I heard something about a Pokemon game, but I didn't look into it too much.
Oh my gosh, Ivy.
But it ties right in?
It ties right in. You get a little Pokeball thing that actually interfaces with the game. It gives you a free Mew for Pokemon Go. Like,
oh fudge.
The game, they're hand in hand. So I thought that's why you were putting so much time into Pokemon Go.
No, I'm just playing because I love all the changes that they have on it.
What are your favorite changes?
That I can gift things to friends, that I can, like, just the whole dynamic on battling at gyms has changed. Where before, you'd have to, it was impossible to take over a gym. And now it's possible to just go in there and fight, take over it, drop your Pokemon in there. I like how they have all these different little, like, it's just incentive based now. So, like, oh, here's this new little mission thing that you got to do.
Oh, okay. And, yeah, the research missions do help.
Yeah, I love that. Like, there's the field ones and there's the special ones. And I love working my way to try to get each one of those done so I can move up to the next thing. And, I just like seeing how quickly I can level up. Like today I got 150,000 points just in everything I did
what
today.
level are you at now?
Right now I'm at 31.
Jeez. So you're 9 levels away from the end game.
There's no end game, is there?
Well, I mean, level 40.
I mean, there's a level cap.
Yeah, level 40 is the cap, I think.
Oh, they got to build that up. And then I know at the end of the year, you're going to be able to battle against each other, right?
They're supposed to incorporate battling against each other soon. They've already got trading in there now. I've done a couple trades now.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
Everyone's asking me for Mr. Mimes since I'm in the UK so much, and I've been collecting a ton of those.
Yeah, those are good. And unknowns are also like really rare.
I have 2 of those.
Ooh, hold on to those for a rainy day. See?
Yeah, 2 of those. I have Mr. Mimes. I don't have a Farfetch'd yet, but I'm going to go back down to Asia at some point, so I'll pick that up again.
Just going to go back down to Asia.
And I do have
Asia again.
I do have a Kangaskhan, but I only have 1.
Oh, well, you don't need it anymore. Once you have it, it's in your Pokedex.
No, I know, but I need an extra one so I can trade with someone else and say, bitch, give me what you got. I need it.
Curtis, what
I got a Kangaskhan.
Man, speaking of Pokemon and Nintendo Switches, just some more Smash Bros.
Oh my God, Curtis.
Come on, you already know. Like,
I already know.
Here we go. Like in a parallel universe where I was like, I don't know, where I'm like 12 years younger. I'm like 100 pounds skinnier, and my fingers are like 6 inches longer. I'm the Nairo of the West Coast, and my only mission right now in Smash is to like actually have like a semi decent Zero Suit Samus. So that's pretty much like, yeah, that's like, of course, totally inspired by Nairo.
I understand you love the game. I love it too, but now is like the worst time to grind it. Like in literally a couple months, unless you're really planning on, going serious for Smash 4 for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. You could take your foot off the gas, relax a little, dabble here and there, maybe get some Overwatch with me in. You could do some stuff. We could accomplish things, and then when Ultimate comes, then me and you are hunkering down, man. We're going for that doubles Sacramento dominance.
It's not that I'm against your plan, because I'm very much down with your plan. But I feel like I'm that alternate version of me that's like the Nairo of the West Coast. I feel like I'm not doing him any justice if I'm not putting some serious work in on my Zero Suit.
Okay.
But I mean, let's talk about this, because I'm up for some Overwatch. I'm interested in this Overwatch thing.
Yeah, that's what I've been playing. I'm trying. They actually, freaking Blizzard. Leave it to them to change the game again. They did this thing out of nowhere, this Diva Cola thing.
Yeah.
You guys seen that?
The Nico Cola, or whatever it is. Nino Cola.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the name of their fictional soda drink.
Yeah.
And basically, if you win 9 of anything through the week or until a certain amount of time, you get a very special Diva skin that you can only get by doing that.
Yeah, the one from her short, right?
I don't know.
Her Mecha one?
Yeah, it's like green. It's got the cola.
She's got like her hair up. And
I thought you was about to say
I need
like
all of
Ricola.
Ricola.
You're like, in the game they have this very special, and you said drink. I was like, very special throat lozenge. Cough
suppressant?
Right.
It's fun. It made me grind the game again.
Nice.
I've found out that I'm really good at Lucio Ball still, so I've been grinding that, trying to hit Masters. I've been like 2 games away from Masters level, and then I hit like a 4-game losing streak, and I'm mad. And then I try again, and then I get kind of close, and then I have an 8-game losing streak. So I'm not doing the best, but I'm so close, and it's like chasing that dragon. You're never gonna catch him, but You just got to keep chasing it.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I was like, we're talking about chasing and dragons. Usually that ends up being like intervention and rehab. So,
yeah, and I thought I had it bad. Look at that.
And this is a safe place. We're here for you guys.
I just
we need to talk.
want to win, man. And then when I lose,
This is Video Games Anonymous.
I
know, right? For real.
I was really letting it tilt me. Like I was really, really just like almost sad. I wasn't.
That's when you gotta quit though. When you start getting upset about it, just put the controller down and walk away.
So I gotta
be like me and throw the controller across the room.
Don't do that.
Okay, so
Don't do that.
y'all are really building up this question that I have. It was coming as Cory was saying. Okay, there's rage quits. Is there anything as rage starts?
You just start and you're already fucking pumped.
You just-
We're gonna start this game. We're gonna win, and we're gonna like that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, like getting hyped, like for the win, like not for the quit. Like I'm pissed. I'm quitting. Like I'm pissed. We about to win. Like, is there a positive side?
You know why I wouldn't do that is
No.
because
Why?
if you lose, then what happens?
Well, then you have
God
self-control.
damn son of a beep beep beep!
If you start raged, I'm afraid of going Super Saiyan rage mode.
But you can't be though, because that might be your next level. You feel me? Like
Sheldon in chat knows how bad I rage. It's not good.
Yeah,
it's,
I think it might be well documented.
I'm a very violent person.
The Ivy rage, it's almost, yeah, well, I was about to get comic book nerdy with it. But, okay, so this sounds like a bad idea.
It's bad.
Collectively, to rage start?
Yeah,
I think so.
That's a bad idea.
I was just trying to look for the positive side.
No.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think I can get myself there.
Okay.
I always like if I start getting visibly, like physically angry, I just walk away because I'm like, you know what? This isn't why I'm doing this. I'm supposed to do this because I like it. I have fun.
Right.
I'm not having fun right now. I'm gonna fucking back off. The only time I can't do that is if I'm streaming Dark Souls.
Well, then, because that's why they're watching.
That is.
Wait,
and I'm
wait.
just
Oh
like,
no!
They want
Yeah,
to
no.
see you
Hold
explode.
on. So you're doing a rage stream?
Yeah.
See? So
Well, when you're
so
I
streaming,
don't
you
want to.
kind of
I
have
don't
to.
want to,
Like
but-
whatever comes out when you're
like, if
when you're gaming.
Yeah, like
and
if
you're
I
streaming.
quit-
it just is.
If I get to a point in Dark Souls where I rage and then I just quit, I'd
Yeah.
quit 10 minutes in. And I would be a
Word.
10-minute stream.
Okay.
I'm like, I fucking promised people I'd play this, so I'm gonna fucking play it. I hate my life. I want to kill myself.
I actually
Oh.
rage quit a ranked match of Lucio Ball on my main account that has like the high ranking. I had set myself off. It was my fault. Like usually I I'm pretty quick to like call people out on their stupid plays and stuff. But this time it was all me. My team was doing
Aw.
great and it was my fault and I was just missing stuff. And I was just like, fuck it. Boom.
Take the L.
I control alt tab out. I'm done. And I just stood up, walked away. It said, "Do you want to take the 75?" Because it's happened plenty of times where I like almost do it, and then it puts a reminder up. It's like, "Hey, by the way, motherfucker, if
we see you're doing pretty bad right now.
yeah. If you leave this, you're taking a 75% hit, and all your matches in the future are gonna screw you over this season." And usually I'll go there, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, never mind. All right, I'm back. I'm in the game. Let's go."
Don't
Let's
do it
win."
because I got banned from a season of comp. I don't recommend it.
Oh,
I've now one is on my record in
Yeah.
Lucio Ball because
Yeah.
I saw it and I said, "Oh, I don't care."
No, see, I just play through and I trash talk the other team so bad, so bad,
So you're toxic.
and that's all while I'm streaming on Twitch. So
Can't be toxic, Ivy.
yeah, like you son of a look, the ball was over there. It was there.
That's
You
so-
idiot.
That's so
You
funny because I was about to
idiot.
call Ivy the Rashid Wallace of
The Rashid Wallace.
See, I'm like,
Wow.
like ball don't lie. She's like, the ball was over there. See, we go.
You're trash. Yeah, no, I'm really bad.
Crazy.
And then it throws them out their game because she gets in their head and then she wins. See, it's about mind games too. I mean, this is competitive nature.
I guess so.
Hashtag don't be toxic. Hashtag but still be competitive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just be good.
Yeah, be good.
I wish I was better.
And if you're gonna,
we've
and if
got,
you are gonna throw a controller, don't damage anything.
Yeah, like a person.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
We've got good stuff to talk about though.
there is some
Yeah,
really
there's
good
more-
stuff to
yeah,
talk
there's more
about.
good stuff.
Let me see. Oh, where's my button? Here we go.
Oh, dear
Here
God.
we go. Are you ready, Emma?
No.
All right. I just forgot to do my vocal exercises. Let me see. How now?
True
Brian?
that.
How now? Okay, here we go. Emma, 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 Emma's telling it, Emma's telling it, Emma's telling it now.
Emma's telling the news.
Oh dear God. worse every time.
I spent all day working on
We
that.
coordinated
too.
the hell out of that, and you're not even appreciative.
Yeah.
No, not even
I just
a little.
showed like vocal bars right
Yeah, that was really good.
I'm gonna go on the strike.
I hummed. That's all I did. I contributed to hum.
Yeah, no. Ivy came in on the low. She came in with some nice like mid register.
We all practiced that for your birthday.
Oh. do not want. Where's the gift receipt?
She's like, I don't even feel bad.
You
About
thought
it.
you were going to slide through this episode without acknowledging that our Emmaskies is going to be hitting her mid-20s very, very soon.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a baby.
She's still just a baby, but
You're a wee little baby.
You old people can all go fuck yourselves.
well, you're right there with us now. So, Emma,
snap.
you're going to have your birthday coming up here. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
We've known each other not a long amount of time, but already I'm excited that to celebrate this with you. So it's going to be...
Thank you.
So what do we have on the news docket? What is this big piece of positive news?
You may remember that last week we talked about Gamescom,
Yes.
and I got a little salty, as I am wont to do,
Little
about
salty?
the fact that, once again, Cyberpunk 2077 was on the top of everybody's list of top things that was shown at Gamescom, and us plebs here in the public could not see any of it because it was media only, and we were not permitted to have photos or videos of it. So I got a little salty about it.
A little
what do you
salty?
know?
You know we've been calling you Mortons
Wow.
for the last week behind your back.
Wow. Well,
have a
apparently it
raincoat
paid
and
off. 'Cause
umbrella
what do
with
you
you?
know? There's 48 minutes of Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay out to the public now. So I don't want to say that like I made it happen.
But let's admit
also-
it. You've ruined Joss Whedon's career since you've been on this
Yes.
show.
You're welcome.
What else did you? You also did another one too.
Was it the? Oh, no.
Was it Batman or something?
What was the second one? It wasn't Big Bang Theory. It was.
I don't know. People are losing their jobs because of this.
We gotta start documenting this.
Something I can't remember what the second one was, but this is now third, like 3 times as a pattern. I have some sort of superpower.
I think
straight
this
up.
week, can you please just predict something like really awesome for us?
I'll see if I can fit something into the schedule.
Like, can we get a news story about how no one's donated $1 million to the show yet, or something like that?
Oh, Steven pointed out it was the Scarlett Johansson thing.
Oh, Scarlett Johansson, you got her
Yep,
fired as well.
absolutely, yep.
I did no such thing.
Yeah.
I cannot-
But anyway, we now have 48 minutes of gameplay from Cyberpunk 2077, and holy shit, it was good.
Okay, so I didn't get to watch the whole thing, so we'll obviously let you do it. Curtis, I don't think you watched any of it, did you?
I haven't seen a lick, and I didn't even get to watch the story about it and talking about it. So I got questions.
It's okay. It's okay.
I saw
Ivy, did
about
you end up?
15 minutes of it.
Yeah, okay.
And it was badass.
It's
they walk you through the whole thing, but it oh my god, it's beautiful.
The narrator was a little
It's freaking
cringe.
beautiful.
Just a little tiny
Oh
bit.
no, I thought he was fine.
I don't know. So basically what it is, it's a 48-minute trailer. You get to watch the game, and then every once in a while, a guy comes in, and he kind of narrates on what you're seeing. He'll be like, in the world of Cyberpunk 2077, you can activate different things, and then you'll see the character doing it. So it does add that layer. It's
I was gonna
definitely...
say, I actually appreciated that.
I like it, the delivery. I just didn't like his, like...
I think
his
my
aura.
favorite moment for the narrator is toward the end. There's like a huge combat scene, and you have these sort of mantis blades, and you're kind of crawling on the wall, and you go down, and you land on somebody, and you stab them, and you go up to somebody else, and you cut his head off, and he just goes, "Nice."
That's dope.
It's like this big ass huge combat scene, and you're just like, "Nice."
Nice.
That was my
That's dope,
favorite
that's dope.
narrator moment.
Okay,
But
cool.
for those of you that didn't get to see it, it's basically a whole mission start to finish in Cyberpunk 2077 with a little bit of exposition in the beginning. So you start out like basically you kind of start out in the end of a mission, and it goes through a little bit of world building about who you are, what you do,
How the character creator looked.
how the
which was
character
cool.
creator looked, which is really cool. I'm like gonna spend an hour just on that part alone.
Nice.
Can we just admit that character that they showed in that 48-minute trailer is Laura from Oblivion Comics and Coffee?
Was it?
It looked just like Laura.
El Boogie was in the game. though?
Like my wife walked past the screen and was like, "Oh, is that Laura? Like playing a video game? Is she twitching again?" Like, it's like, no, she fits that world.
It was it was fucking good. It was really they they're pushing really hard how story driven it is, and then how much you control that story. Because they talk multiple times. So they go through this mission, and he's like, at every point, like every step of the way, you get to a point where you can choose, dialogue X, Y, or Z to progress the mission. And he's like, you can do lethal, you can do non-lethal, you can do this, you can do that. For the purposes of this demo, we're doing this. But like every time you make a decision, he talks about, for the purposes of this particular demo, we're doing this, but you could have gone this way. And then at the end, he goes through the whole mission, goes through everything, and he says, this is what happened. But can you imagine how this would have turned out if way back in the beginning you made a different choice? If 10 minutes ago you made a different choice. If 5 minutes ago you made a different choice. Like all the ways that this could have branched out differently, and how much control you have over this world.
I like that.
They are... So you saw the first 20 minutes, Ivy, you saw the first 15 minutes, so you kind of saw this a little bit. I'm wondering if you guys had the same feeling. They are pushing very hard the mature themes of this game.
Oh, yeah.
They are, like, the narrator says it, he says it like 3 or 4 times. He's like, this is a mature game set in, this is set in a mature, and like, they are pushing that.
It was one of those awkward moments where
they're super vocal about that.
Like, I don't watch super obscene things. Like a lot of the stuff I watch doesn't have a bunch of nudity in it, and that's by choice. I don't just go actively search out like, oh, I like stuff with boobs. But occasionally when I do, someone always walks in the room. I'll be by myself for hours and hours and hours, and I'll be like,
there's one nipple on screen.
One nipple on Game of Thrones, and all of a sudden, my family has a reunion in my living room. But there was like 5 solid minutes of nipple, and then like the character picks up this naked body, and the nipple is in your foresight
off screen. That made no sense, because so you're, for those of you that haven't seen it, you're rescuing this woman who's basically been kidnapped for her organs, essentially what we would say. She's
so organ harvesting
pretty much. So you find her naked in a bathtub, so I'm like, makes sense, cool. You find her naked, that's totally whatever. And then you pick her up. But like what you said, while you're carrying her, her left nipple is just framed so it's right in front of your face. I was like, was that necessary? Was it?
I mean, the texture.
The texture of it. It was very realistic.
Was very realistic.
But there was that. There's like the next scene is where she, like, your character wakes up in bed and she's been sleeping in a thong for some reason, and I'm like, was that necessary?
I mean, that one was.
And then there was something.
So you're saying it's gratuitous?
I'm wondering if they're just doing it for the gameplay, or if it's that gratuitous in game as well.
Well, they did make a point at the very beginning to say that pretty much whatever we see may not even be what's in the game, because they're still going through so many changes.
And that kind of brought a question. Like, my first question when I saw that immediately was, I wonder if there's an option to turn off nudity for streaming.
Ooh.
Well, actually,
yeah, because you can't stream that.
I was thinking about, how did they put that on YouTube then? Because YouTube has pretty strict rules.
It was probably just demonetized. Actually, I don't know. Was it? Did you get it? You're watching it right now. Did you get an ad in front of it?
I didn't, but I pay for I actually.
Oh, you have YouTube Red.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or premium now.
Oh.
I have regular YouTube, but nothing popped up.
It might have just been demonetized.
But not only that, there are certain scenarios within YouTube where you can show nudity, like if it's educational, like certain things like breastfeeding or anatomy.
This was definitely educational.
Yep. More like advertisement-cational.
Yeah.
And it could be the case. I mean, we've seen, with all the movies, like trailers coming out, they put stuff in it and just for the trailer, and then it never ends up even being in the movie. So it might have been a similar thing, just to kind of keep people talking about it.
I don't know why when I was like conceptualizing the game in my head, I did not anticipate there to be drivable vehicles.
Yeah.
And so whenever they, like, the character introduces the vehicle, and it's like, yeah, why don't you get in the front seat? I was like, holy shit, drivable cars.
Well, and they make a note that you can drive all over this massive city and there won't be a single loading screen.
That's sick.
What?
And I'm like,
really awesome.
Coming off the annoyance of We Have You Fewer, I'm getting it every 5 seconds. The fact that you can explore this whole city in the free state of North California.
I thought that was nice.
Place,
that was
Night
tasteful
City.
too.
That's insane.
I don't know about you guys. I think it is the case for Emma and Ivy. I think Curtis is too nice to do this, but every time there's a game that allows you to drive, the first thing I do is try and run over a person.
Yep.
Just
I do the same thing.
Not out of like a sick pleasure, but out of like, what are my boundaries?
Oh no, out of a sick pleasure.
No, I honestly do it because I think it's funny.
Yeah.
It's horrible. I look at that. Like, I'm like, oh, 15 points, 10 points.
Is this that type of game? Can I just mow through people and they're all fine,
It's
or
awful.
like is there repercussions to it? And I
wouldn't do it in real life. I wouldn't
totally
do it in real life. I'm just saying that.
Not in real life.
But I sure as hell do it all the time when I play GTA.
Yeah.
Fun as hell.
So did they show that in the trailer? Can you just ran over any random pedestrian?
They didn't show it in the trailer, but I imagine you could.
And then would that ruin like potential quest lines?
I wonder if it does. I wonder if
That would be
there's
awesome.
like some sort of aggro meter or something. I wonder, like maybe not on screen, but like in somewhere in the code.
Yeah.
Because the things you do, they did mention like the things you do will affect choices down the line in the game that you might not even think about. Like a choice that you made 7 hours ago is going to affect this mission that you're playing right now, and that you never would have thought about. But they did make a point to talk about they have a new. Was it a new engine or something that's running their crowd?
Yeah.
So it feels very real. There's like every single person in that crowd lives their own life on a day-night cycle.
Oh shit.
Every single person in the crowd, which is why it feels so real.
And you may be saying like, well, Fallout, has been doing that forever, but those games had like, I saw as many pedestrian rando people in one frame of Cyberpunk than I've seen in all my experience in all the Fallouts. Like this was a bustling city with shoulder to shoulder people walking around, like living. I saw like a homeless man sleeping. Like it's almost like GTA mixed with Fallout or something like that. Like it's got the first person view, the control of and decision making of a Fallout, but you're in a GTA futuristic dystopian world thing.
Okay, I'm like not live reacting to the whole like nudity thing.
He's watching the trailer right now, or the gameplay.
Like, and it got to that part. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they could have had like that person in there been like fireman carrying, like it have to be like right in the line of sight.
I noticed when he got to the part because his face kind of went, and I looked over, and it was the part where her nipple's right in the foreground of the shot.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not like a main part anymore.
Literally, all you have to do is look an inch higher.
Yeah,
I love how
And
this
it's not
nipple
in the
has
screen.
just dominated our show right now.
Hilarious.
We're so into this nip.
I mean, the graphics are incredible,
that's gotta
and the
be in the
gameplay
title.
does look great. Like, I mean, this thing looks phenomenal. But yeah, I mean, there definitely could have been a fireman's carry after the data was collected. Like, it didn't have
CyberNIP 2077.
Yes, is CyberNIP
my
gate?
God.
I don't know.
I thought one of the other interesting things was the class system. I think they're going in the Skyrim route where I don't think you have to be tied to a class.
Right.
You can evolve over time and
Which
switch.
I love.
I thought that was probably one of the most innovative features of Skyrim is the fact I didn't have to choose, I want two-handed weapons and then be stuck with that shit the entire game. Like halfway through, you can be like, hey, this is a pretty fucking dope spell. I want to necromance a little bit here. So I think we will. The game looks amazing, but
Looks so good.
I think there's a little caveat. Do we have any glimpse of
Nope.
when this game's coming out?
No, there's no release date. The rumors that I've been seeing are possibly next fall, which I am taking to mean 2020. Because if it's right, if they're saying next fall right now, I'm gonna get my hopes up for 2020.
But well, okay. Well, let me ask you this question, because I mean, I could see that, especially if they hit a snag.
Mm-hmm.
But would you guys agree that it would behoove them to get it out by that time, naturally, for like the holiday buying season and everything? Like they would make a push for it. I mean, I'll say if they don't have it down pat, because it looks incredible, and you don't want to follow this up by falling short. If they don't have it down pat and they are going to miss that, I think it's more worth it for them to just wait and really put it out well. Because, I mean, I've only just watched a few minutes. It looks incredible.
It looks so good. And it's crazy because we were talking about this earlier. They mentioned multiple times, or the narrator mentions multiple times, he's like, I just want to let you know that what you're about to see is a work in progress. This is not a representative of the final game. I'm like, this looks fucking incredible. What kind of progress? This is the final game right here. What the fuck?
Just put this part out. Can we go back in the day where there was like 10 different demos on a disc? Can you just give me like
It was,
10
it
Yeah.
was
like
so
10 minutes of
good.
it?
But and like the combat, we didn't even we're talking a lot about the nudity, but the combat in this game is phenomenal. Like the people react. I mean, this is not the first game that does this, but the way that people react to where you hit them, I think my favorite part in this entire gameplay video they put out was toward the end, there's like a big combat scene, and there's this mode that they call Koreshnikov mode, which is basically you kind of get a slow-mo, you know,
Yeah.
you can take this drug, everything around you slows down, you have enhanced combat mode, whatever. So your slow-mo, you slide around this guy's hiding behind cover. So you run toward his cover, you slide, you turn, and you shoot him right in the kneecaps with your shotgun. So his legs just go flying. And he starts screaming, "Oh God, my legs!" But it's in slow-mo.
Oh my God.
And it's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. It was
like,
so
oh
good.
God.
Welcome to the desensitization of our youth, ladies and gentlemen.
It was so good.
That sounds horrifying.
No, that sounds pretty cool though. And I'm like, I'm supposed to be like the nice guy. No, that sounds pretty incredible.
Oh my God, my legs. The only thing worse is if he started talking about his kids. Oh, tell him I love him.
You don't want me to see your kids.
So somebody in chat asked, this is 100% a day one buy for me. This game looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Whenever that day is, it'll be day one for me.
This may be a game changer. Like, if...
Literally?
Yeah, 'cause weren't you just talking about you don't ever buy games on day one? You would let it out.
Well,
hey, there's exception to every rule.
Yeah, there's exceptions to the
most
rule,
rules.
Ivy. What do you think from what you saw, Ivy? What do you think of this game? Is this day one buy or are you waiting?
Yeah, I'd pick it up as long as I'm in town. Yeah, I'll pick it up the same day.
Okay. No multiplayer
down.
though, so you
What?
cool
That's
with
my
it?
favorite. That's my
No
favorite thing. No multiplayer. Single player, narrative based story game. I live for that.
Imagine, all the stuff they're doing to it now to make it multiplayer. We wouldn't see this game for another 10 years.
Right, yeah, no,
Especially
that is a good point.
if every little tiny decision one person makes affects a chain reaction of other things through this.
In the butterfly effect?
Yeah, exactly.
So good.
Right.
There you go.
So good.
Just like that movie. What was it called?
The butterfly effect.
Oh, that's right.
Terrible. I wasn't going to give him the satisfaction. I knew he was waiting for it.
Sucks we have to wait, but that's life.
Such is life. Say lovey.
What else we got?
We've got an iPad that turned off. So we've got some PlayStation Plus games for September. Kind of jumped out to me a little bit. We were talking about this earlier because actually I think it might be right now. You can get Destiny 2
What?
for free on the PlayStation. And my first thought was, how long has this game been out?
Not that long.
Not that long.
Yeah.
No.
I think there's this is strategic. It's not by accident, and it's not necessarily I think that the game is a huge failure. I think it's definitely wasn't the hit everyone thought it was going to be, but there's an expansion right on the horizon.
Yeah.
And that expansion's going to cost like as much as a full game,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure.
a $60 expansion.
Yeah. They did this last time. And then they
Ridiculous.
put the game on sale to get you to buy it, and then you get it, and then with the hopes that you get hooked, and then right when you start to like it and sink your teeth into it, and you're like, oh, this is a dope free game, they're going to sell you on the $80 expansion because you're not going to be able to do any of the shit from that expansion unless you pay for it.
Yeah.
You'll be sitting in the first zone with all the shitty weapons, just like they did to everyone last year. It's strategic.
But there is a you can participate a little bit because everyone with a copy of Destiny 2 can participate in a 24-hour free trial of the upcoming PvP meets PvE Gambit mode, which I guess is from the new expansion, I suppose. Starting September 1st. So starting Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, there's a 24-hour window where anybody with the copy of Destiny 2 can play this new mode. So if you have it, check it out this weekend.
All right.
And then God of War 3 Remastered is the other PS4 free game this week.
Oh,
or
that's
this
a
month.
quality one. See, I feel like Destiny 2 one is like a ripoff in a way, just because I see right through this, the tactic. But at least with God of War 3, it's a free game. You know what you're getting. You can play it from beginning to end. And that's, you get it. You get the full thing, but sneaky. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for checking out the video game Bang this week. Thank you guys to the sponsors, as always. If you guys like the show, if you're in the Twitch, first of all, thank you so much for the host, Cody from Vast, hooking it up with that big fatty host. There's a bunch of viewers, a couple new subscribers who we'll give you some love at the end of the show. But watch the show live. If you listen to the podcast on iTunes and you want to interact with us, see our faces as we do this show, you can tune in at twitch.tv/videogame_bang, and you watch it on Wednesday nights and Saturday nights. And then for all the people who are in this chat room, if you want to get more of the show, listen to it, take it with you on the road, catch up with the old episodes that you may have missed with some of the amazing guests we've had in the last month. We had Holly T. Wolf on the show. We had Zombie Unicorn on the show. Yeah. We had Martin Wong. I wasn't here for that one, but Martin Wong, legendary photographer, on the show. So we bring the guests, we bring the heat. If you want to catch up on those episodes, they are all on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Podcatcher, Skullface, Remote Baby, all of them.
I don't think any of those are real. I think you just made those up. I have a sinking suspicion.
We're on that one too. Sinking Suspicion. Check us out. Wow. We just got onto there as well. Ivy Doomkitty, you're busy this weekend. Let everyone know where you're going to be at.
I will be at SabotinCon in Phoenix, Arizona. So if you guys are in the area, please come by. It's been about 2 to 3 years since I've been there. Would love to see you guys.
And Emmaskies, what's going on with you?
I am having a big birthday live stream on Friday, August 31st, which is my actual birthday.
12 hours?
12-hour stream, noon Pacific to midnight Pacific. Come hang out. We're going to play some games.
Are you doing some shit. Giveaways or anything?
I'm poor, so no.
You're like, bitch, it's my birthday. you come to my stream.
You're like, they're giving things away to me.
I would love to, but I'm poor, so no.
Just look, do what I did at the early days of EGB. Literally, we would just look around the house and be like, oh, I can give that away.
No.
I do have a giveaway coming up in September that we'll talk about later. But no, so Friday, August 31st, 12 Pacific to midnight Pacific, twitch.tv/Emmaskies. Gonna hang out for my birthday, because that's what I'd be doing anyway, sitting at home alone playing video games.
Birthday stream!
That's so sad when you put it that way.
So that's what we're gonna do.
Curtis, what's your new hustle?
Man, well, after talking to the awesome Emmaskies, she gave me some game to get my graphics up. So I was down, I was sick for a little while, but I'm feeling better now. I'm feeling like I got more energy. So you expect some streams soon, but pretty much just trying to get my Nairo on with my Zero suit. But you can check me out, Skip and Tosh, on the Twitch life, and yeah, go check me out over there.
I think that's it. We're going to be back doing the show again on Saturday evening. And then the show will come out on the podcast on Monday, as you guys know. Thank you guys all so much to the listeners, new and old. We love you. You make this show happen week in and week out. Pay attention to PAX if you're around for that. That's going to be pretty dope. But we'll talk about that this weekend. So for Ivy Doomkitty, Curtis Jackson, Emmaskies, my name is Cory, saying you've just been banged.
Peace.